Ramiro FUNEZ joins us now via Skype out of Los Angeles. He's a political commentator. Mr. FUNEZ, it's good to have you with us on the show. Just read a couple of stories about the recent win by President-elect Raisi in Iran, and of course, some international reactions to that, mainly by world state leaders. Your reaction to this, and of course, the congratulatory messages that he is receiving from mostly Iran's allies.
It's beautiful to hear about the warm messages that President-elect Ebrahim Raisi is receiving from countries around the world like Cuba, like Syria, the Palestinian people who are all resisting U.S. imperialism and sanctions. And sanctions are such a central part of Raisi's campaign in terms of combating Western imperialism. And the way he's doing so is by looking to the strengths and the roots of Iran's Islamic Revolution, of the Iranian people, returning to those values that people fought bravely for in 1979, returning to that, helping the poor, developing people out of poverty, and also trust and confidence in the people of Iran, and not supporting Western capitalism and imperialism. I think it's a very beautiful and inspiring time for the president-elect, and I think that many people around the world are very excited by it because it signals the end of any hope for Western capitalism and imperialism to dominate the Iranian people. Unfortunately, where I am here in Los Angeles, there is a big diaspora community of Iranians who unfortunately sided with the Western imperialists, who were traitors to the Iranian people. And so many of them are living lives that are lavish, that are for the rich, that are not promoting wholesome values. And someone like President-elect, the new President-elect of Iran, is promoting returning to the values of helping the Iranian people, helping the poor, uplifting the poor. And it's exciting to see how he's going to transform the country for the better and expand relations with other countries that are also fighting against sanctions, that are also being put up against the wall by Washington. And I think it's a very hopeful time.
Okay, and you spoke about the possible relations under him with other countries. In what shape or form or direction would you say the country's foreign policy would you imagine will be guided under him?
I would imagine that President-elect Raisi's foreign policy will be very similar and consistent with the Iranian Revolution, with the anti-imperialist banner of the Iranian people. Since 1979, Iran has been at the forefront of helping other countries around the world resist empire, resist sanctions. Since 1979, I can imagine he's going to expand ties with Cuba, which is one of the first countries that congratulated him. President Miguel Díaz-Canel of the Cuban government congratulated him. I can imagine that he will expand relations with Venezuela. They have some really great economic relations. We have Iranian supermarkets popping up in Venezuela that are becoming very popular. Economic cooperation when it comes to petroleum, refining, and also with Nicaragua and Latin America. I imagine the same as well with Russia and China, and also Pakistan. Seeing his priority and focus is for expanding relations in the region. I'm excited to see a warming of relations perhaps with Turkey, with Pakistan, with countries that have perhaps been sort of on the fence when it comes to negotiating with U.S. imperialism. And it's a very exciting time because this is somebody who represents what the Iranian Revolution is all about, of helping the poor, of resisting the empire and unleashing the strength and the power of the Iranian people, a civilization that is thousands of years old and has seen so much. And I'm very excited for his candidacy and presidency.
Sure. Many thanks. That's Mr. Ramiro FUNEZ, who's a political commentator out of Los Angeles. I really appreciate it.